Rats. The power is out.
Oh!
Welcome to Long Island Rising. I'm Mike Rabb, and I will be hosting several shows on recovery strategies for Sandy as well as the Irene storms. I will be featuring different guests each week that will be talking about the different services and programs that are available right now to help you and your family, friends, and neighbors to recover from this most terrible. In the studio with me today, I have two very special guests.
Thanks, Mr. Rob, but as you can see, there are 3 of us.
This is just like when you submit paperwork to New York Rising. There are 3 of us right in front of him, and he already lost one of us.
There are so many people out there right now that are locked down. They're locked down because of post-traumatic stress disorder, because of physical and mental challenges. There's a plethora of paperwork. There's a frustration level of submitting documents and then getting a phone call saying, we can't find that document. Can you please send us another copy of that document?
Yes, that is quite frustrating, because even someone like me, who has been traumatized, and has been living like an animal, sleeping on a pull-out couch, with that damn bar sticking in the middle of my back, while I continue to pay the mortgage and property taxes on my moldy house that I can't live in. Like a schmuck, even me, with no personal space, and no desk for 19 months, can keep track of paperwork, and instead of giving me money to fix my house, you are paying good money to New York Rising monkeys to lose my paperwork. And like me, these monkeys have desks and homes, and are getting grant money. What the fuck is their excuse for always losing my paperwork?
Which one of us did you lose, Mr. Rob? Was it me? Please say it was me. I don't like sitting to one side of the sofa with these 2 knuckleheads, as seems to be the protocol on your show. Why does everyone have to sit to one side of the couch, on top of each other, and leave that side empty? Move over, Tony, or I'm not staying for this interview.
Okay, Joe. I don't want to sit on top of you either. I am exhausted by stupid rules that make no sense.
What a shame. I thought that was kind of cozy. On the last episode of Long Island Rising, that guy with the ZZ Top beard looked really snuggly with the Catholic Charities man, don't you think? I was sure ZZ Top was going to get a rose.
What are you talking about?
Like on that TV show, The Bachelor.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
You know what? We should introduce ourselves. I'm Tony Citizen.
I'm his next-door neighbor, Douchebag Joe.
And I am their neighbor from across the street, Mrs. Crackenberry. That Sandy storm flooded our homes with 4 feet of water. Our lives and homes have been a mess since October 29, 2012. And not so much from the storm, but from the ridiculous, wasteful and inefficient government-sponsored recovery process that makes no sense. Most of us paid into a government flood insurance program, which did not pay fairly on our claims, and left us unable to live in our homes. Following which, we have had to deal with a bunch of government-sponsored bullshit programs to make up for the shortfalls. Rather than get us home, the government has used this storm as an opportunity to create jobs, bullshit jobs to help us recover which don't help us recover. It is this bullshit that has caused not PTSD, but PSSSPSD.
PSSSPSD, for those of you who don't know, is post-Superstorm Sandy stupid people stress disorder. We all started to feel the effects immediately after the storm. The worst symptom is the fucking cursing. We fucking can't stop fucking cursing.
Definitely. Fuck you, Superstorm Sandy.
I keep saying it because I keep hearing it. It's not Hurricane Sandy. It's not Superstorm Sandy. Believe it or not, it's officially called the meteorological event.
Whatever you call it. Fuck the storm, which by any other name would have flooded our houses just as deep. You are a wackadoo, Mike Robb.
We all star in our own web video series on YouTube, called The Flooded Adventures of Tony Citizen. It is the only animated dark comedy about Superstorm Sandy victims, that tells the honest truth about what the experience has been like for us, not to be confused with Mike Robb's Long Island Rising show, which is not usually animated, or particularly accurate, although it is kind of amusing, if you find propagandist bullshit a form of entertainment. Mr. Robb, thanks so much for having us on as guests. We heard a rumor that it was our show that inspired your show.
The rumor mill, which is killing us.
Rumor mill? What about the Chuck Schumer mill? Where politicians run around telling everyone people like me are flush with help. Meanwhile I have had no walls or insulation, for over a year and a half. Anyway, it's real swell you have done your own web series. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. We heard that even though you are hosting this political propagandist, Mangano, Cayman, Red Cross, Cuomo ass-kissing series, called Long Island Rising, that as someone who flooded yourself, you can relate more closely to our show, The Flooded Adventures of Tony Citizen. Can you tell us why?
Storm is unprecedented. Myself, my parents, and even my grandparents have never expected and never experienced such devastation as what we are here on Long Island. This is affecting us not only economically, it is affecting us as where we live, residential. Our homes have been uplifted. Many of us might have even lost jobs. Family got relocated. It's been a very, very long and hard trail for most of us.
I am so glad to hear you admit that.
The real devastation for us is, our political leaders don't want to admit how widespread this problem is. They care more about making themselves look good than they care about us. We have had no real help getting home. How many years do you expect us to be displaced or live like we are in a third world country? People who weren't flooded have no idea what is going on. I'm thinking of applying for foreign aid, since I can't get aid here. A few years ago Obama passed making homes affordable for people who spent over their means. Or how about Wall Street? They got their bailout. Meanwhile we have been very responsible. We keep paying our mortgages and most of us bought insurance from the government and we didn't get what we were entitled to, by contract. On top of that, we get no real help. No progress. Any aid is just to help us tread water and drag out the process. And this reality is like a dirty secret. Turn on the TV and everyone is running commercials about how great I am doing. I am not doing great. People don't know what is going on, right down the street from them. No one addresses that these NYR monkey workers are getting paid from the same pool of grant money that is supposed to be allocated for repairs, and that we feel they lose our paperwork on purpose, because they know once people are home they won't have jobs. We feel the inefficiency is all being done on purpose.
I agree. No one is that fucking stupid. You need to be trained well on how to lose someone's paperwork that many times. It takes skill and talent to lose that much paper.
I agree too. And if people really are that stupid, how come there is no system for weeding out the idiots? These New York Rising caseworkers need their performance measured. I finally got a good caseworker, and then that Cuomo fired her. I got handed back to the same idiot, monkey, caseworker I ran away from months ago. Because that IEM hired her. Why were they allowed to fire good people but keep on monkey workers? I am being scrutinized and resulting I am unable to get any help, but they can do the shittiest job and they still get paid. What the fuck? If any of us lost paperwork that many times at our jobs we'd be fired. How come these people have no accountability for their job performance?
I was fired. Fired for making too many Sandy-related phone calls from work. The New York Rising offices are only open During business hours, when was I supposed to call, if not from at work? This program took my situation from bad to worse. It didn't take into account that flooded people have jobs and families and lives and the added inconvenience of being displaced. Most of us had insurance from the FEMA and FIP program and got screwed because they didn't pay fairly on our claims. They didn't get in trouble for doing that to us. Then we got told to apply for these New York Rising grants, and they do all sorts of incompetent things and they don't get in trouble for that. Plus, it is next to impossible for the average person with a full-time job to find the time to figure out what the fuck they are supposed to do in order to qualify. Every time you think you passed a hurdle, the monkeys throw a wrench in your progress. It makes no sense that you expect us to do all our work with NYR while we are at work ourselves. You know what? We, the people NYR is supposed to help, get in trouble for that. Then, the people who need the most help are people like me who can't afford to go out of pocket for repairs. And people like me are still waiting for assistance. What the fuck? We are the last to get help. The first to get help are people who already had the money to fix their homes. There are no priorities.
That's not true. The priority is making the program look good, not actually helping people get home. They paid people like me first so they could boast that money was released. I was able to afford my repairs. I got reimbursed already for those. But now I am told I have to destroy my entire place and lift it. And I can't get a dime of help for that. I am a rich asshole, and even I am all out of funds. Oh shit. I think I am poor now. What the fuck? How many people are still waiting for aid, Mr. Rob?
I think it was over 18,000 people signed up for New York Rising, of which 17,000 are here on Long Island.
So then, if the aid is so wonderful, how come we don't know anyone who couldn't afford to do their own repairs and was able to get home by now with the help of New York Rising? I mean, if there's 17,000 applicants floating around, you'd think, close to 2 years after the storm I'd be able to run into someone at the convenience store, or on the Long Island Railroad, who can thank the program for timely assistance.
Yes, at least someone.
Anyone, like one person.
We don't know anybody who has received any timely measure of help. And we all follow the damn rules and do everything we are supposed to do. And this is how long I am waiting and how much work I am doing just to beg to get funds. I will still have a year or two of construction to deal with on top of this. And then, when that is finally over, I still have to deal with my landscaping and my shed and my deck, which are all ruined. No one assists financially with any of that.
My pool is ruined. All of our lawns are contaminated. There's no help for that.
Isn't that right, Ed? Clean and Seed, Mongano. Clean and Seed was a FEMA-sponsored program. We were all on a list to get our contaminated soils removed. They had plenty of funds to advertise the program and hire staff to sign us up. They had plenty of funds to make and print a bunch of forms we had to sign. They had plenty of funds to send not one guy, but entire teams of inspectors over to visit our properties and determine our eligibility. They had plenty of funds to pay office workers to review our documentation and call us up one by one and congratulate us on getting accepted to the list.
It was fantastic. Everyone we knew was accepted to the Clean and Seed program. There is a real widespread need for it.
They had plenty of funds to have people call us and reminded us that the program was starting in April and that we should make sure we would be equipped to water our lawns. So I went out of pocket to fix my sprinkler system, which was my lowest priority, $650. Then they had plenty of funds to call me in April and tell me the program was canceled. Fuck you, stupid Clean and Seed people. I am always dealing with stupid people. This has become my full-time job.
Mine too.
And mine as well. So, we're not going to watch your show anymore. It is insulting to every homeowner who is involved in this batshit crazy recovery process. Anyone involved in the recovery process also knows New York Rising stopped taking new applicants in April. If they stopped taking applicants in April, why are you just informing them now that New York Rising is here? That is just a little too late. On your show, you told people who hadn't signed up to return to Long Island to sign up. Well, they cannot. It is too late. The new application deadline was in April. Don't you have any useful information for people?
By the way, please do note that Nassau County and Suffolk County have excellent departments of consumer affairs. Before you sign a contract with anybody, call Consumer Affairs and ask if there's a record as far as any kind of derogatories against that contractor. Why would you sign up with somebody without doing your homework?
Oh good. Can they vet New York Rising for us as well? Because I am scared to sign a contract with them. They don't know what they are doing. Everything is obscure.
Under normal circumstances, I would never sign a vague contract like that in my life. Should I do it now because I am desperate? Is that the advice here? By the way, all the free legal assistance is also vague. They tell me not to sign anything unless I understand it, but they won't help review anything specific to me. Hofstra, Turo, NILAG, and the Nassau Bar couldn't offer me any help. They are swamped. They are helping people, but can only aid very few people. Resources are scarce and we all need legal assistance right now. Anyone who hasn't established a relationship with a free legal clinic by now will find that contacting them at this point is totally useless. But the legal clinics got funded millions to help few. Everyone gets funded to help us. Everyone gets funded but us. I can't believe they funded your piece of shit show and I still can't get a dime towards some basic repairs.
Yes, this is an outrage. After 12 months of application process and what was probably $20,000 in resources, my award was $102. I can get $51 up front to do $200,000 of repairs. That's bullshit. And I was told if I get my ECR changed, all the money goes into the second check. What the fuck am I supposed to accomplish with $51? Fuck you, New York Rising. I had $250,000 of insurance coverage. They won't pay me, because they said my flood damage was pre-existing. Where the hell is that money? Fuck you, NFIP. All I see around here is tons of monkeys telling me how much wonderful help I am getting. Fuck all of you.
Mr. Rab, I noticed in your show, you are handing out misinformation, like the design fees are going to be added on top of the $160 a square foot from New York Rising. As far as we know, that is total bullshit. Misinformation like that can cause someone to make a mistake that costs them thousands of dollars. You need to be more careful what you tell people unless you're some authoritative source that can change the program. We would love design fees paid on top of everything else, but as far as we understand, we can't get design covered without losing money from our construction pool.
My construction money is $51 fucking dollars. How the fuck am I supposed to hire a design consultant to submit a 6100 form to change my ECR with $51 fucking dollars? You think I have extra money laying around? I am paying rent, and property taxes, and a mortgage. And I'm subsidizing the building rent at Staples because I have to photocopy everything 20 times, because my monkey caseworker keeps losing my information. Where the fuck is my interim mortgage assistance, you fathermuckers?
It's an embarrassment that someone like us who is still displaced is making a show about how great the programs for us are. What are you trying to accomplish? Instead of wasting money doing a show, someone should open a free document center for us so we can copy all the shit paperwork NYR loses all the time. That shit is expensive. This show is a betrayal and a slap in the face to everyone going through the recovery process. You can't fix something if you won't admit there's a problem. Don't you agree?
FYI, I drove past Mike Rob's house today and it's still boarded up. The poor guy got funds to do a show about how great the aid is. But it appears he can not get funds to fix his house. The host of this show is a perfect example of the fleecing of the middle class. I got funds from NYR. They funded me to move away. Where's all the rising and the building it back? Shameful.
That chick is an instigator.
Good. We need a few instigators. I can't understand all the bullshit that is happening here. Everyone gets funded from the rebuild fund for every little piece of bullshit. But like, if you need funding to actually fix your fucking house, you get GOTS. Zilch. Zero. Zip.
Nada.
Most of these bullshit programs to help us rebuild could have been avoided if the NFIP was just held responsible for fairly paying our claims. That's what kills me. This Mike Rab show is just more bullshit. Still, we hope he gets home. No one deserves any of this. Good luck to you, Mike.
Thanks.
Now, let's leave his show and get back to our own show, where no one makes shit up.
Yes, except for the part about the devil. That's poetic license.
And the lobster.
No, the lobster was real.
Yes, I knew other people who had fish in their houses. So just the devil, then. But try and remember, we can use poetic license freely. Because we aren't politicians, we are just a fucking cartoon.
A cartoon, telling it like it is, because that is what we do. Kind of like a public service message.
Take it away, Jason Bateman.
And that's one to grow on.
Oh, I am always loving this Jason Bateman so much. He's very funny. Where did every person go?
Uh.
Make way for Patel.